This is Laura. We are in Zambia, and she is on the Kashaba tribe team and has some stories from before this trip even started. Would you like to tell us some?
Sure. When God told me to come on this trip, because I'm a single parent, I said, God, how am I going to pay for that? And I checked my email, and there was money sitting on my email that somebody had sent me. So I said, okay, God. So I kept testing, and I knew what he was saying. And I was like, well, if I have to charge it, I will, because I know you told me to go. So lo and behold, people have been giving to me for the past 2 months. And I had one column of expenses on a piece of paper, and every time someone would give, I would write down their name and the amount next to it on the other side of the paper. Well, I never added it up on the right side. I had an idea, but sometimes things arise. But over the course of the weeks, 20 different people gave to me. So this past Sunday night, I sat down and I added up both columns. And something that happened halfway through was that God was testing me on my word to tithe whatever came into the ministry that I have, that I was going to do this through. I said, everything that comes through this, I'm going to tithe. So when people were giving to me, they're like, oh no, this is for the trip, God still tested me because it was my word to him. So I sent off the tithe, and he said, your breakthrough is tied to your obedience. I sent it off. So anyways, long story short, I ended up having 20 people give to me and 9 expenses, major expenses. So I added up the expenses on Sunday night. I added up all the people that gave the amounts on Sunday night, and then I looked at the number, and I figured out what 10% was, and I subtracted the 10% out. And when I looked at that number and the number on the expenses, it was exactly the same except $1, and it was going to charge me that much to transfer the money from the Cash App. And my jaw dropped because that was more significant to me than being oversupplied. It was like he put his stamp on it. I'm going to give you exactly what you need, taking everything into consideration. I'm going to include the tithe that you committed to, and all of your needs will be supplied. So
That's
I just
awesome.
wanted to share that with you.
Did you already say on the film how you didn't ask anybody for money?
Oh,
It, yeah.
no.
Oh, yeah. She didn't even ask anybody for money.
Yeah, I didn't. There was one time when I did some training over a couple of days. I didn't even take up an offering. I just said, I'm going on this trip, and if anybody's interested in sewing, tomorrow, just let me know. But I want you to pray about it. And that's the only thing that I did the entire time. But God provided down to the penny, down to the penny for this trip. So I just wanted to share that with you because God is amazing and he's awesome. And all he wants is a yes. And he told me a long time ago, he said, you do what you know to do, and I'll do the rest. So even factored into those amounts was the fact that I fought like hand, tooth, and nail to get my vaccines covered by insurance because I did not want any expenses that did not have to be there. So I literally had to, for weeks, figure out systems and laws and where I could go and getting approvals and back and forth, all these different places. And even the part that I could do that I pushed through and did, down to making sure I had a ride to the airport so that I didn't have to spend money on the parking. All of what I could do was factored into the amounts, completely equaling. So
That's amazing.
God bless you. And if you feel like God's trying to tell you to do something, I encourage you to walk on water.
Cool. Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome.